Hospitals in China are flooded with COVID patients, most of them given oxygen to help with their breathing. Crematorium workers are being reported to work overtime. A WHO official said that they do not know what exactly is happening in China right now, as the country continues to call the Western media reports on its COVID response as distorted. On Wednesday, China reported 0 COVID deaths, but long queues inside and outside emergency departments and fever clinics indicate how the infection has spread across the country since it began easing its stringent zero COVID policy. Hospitals are out of COVID-specific drugs. Medication for cough are being given to patients in fever clinics, and China's domestic COVID vaccine remains ineffective against new Omicron variants such as BF.7, which is driving the massive surge. According to government data last week, China's overall vaccination rate is above 90%, but the rate of adults who have had booster shots drops to 57.9% and 42.3% for people aged 80 and older. According to reports, at least 200 people are being cremated every day compared to 40 to 50 before China stopped lengthy quarantines, forced lockdowns and mandatory mass testing. The US has said that it will impose mandatory COVID tests on travelers from China joining India, Italy, Japan and Taiwan in taking new measures amid a spike in cases. From January 5th, all air passengers 2 years old and older will require a negative result from a test no more than 2 days before the departure from China, Hong Kong or Macau. This will put more pressure on Chinese hospitals as Beijing has done away with mobile testing clinics. Meanwhile, China will resume issuing passports for tourism in another big step away from the antivirus controls that isolated the country for almost 3 years, days after it scrapped testing and quarantine rule for arrivals. China had stopped issuing visas to foreigners and passports to its own people months after the world woke up to reports of an unknown pneumonia-like illness in Wuhan. On Monday, President Xi Jinping-led government downgraded the official seriousness of COVID and removed it from a list of illness and required quarantine. It said that authorities would stop tracking close contacts and designating areas as being at high or low risk of infection. But as cities continue to report tens and thousands of deaths a day, experts have forecast 1 million to 2 million deaths in China through the end of 2023. On Wednesday, China denounced reports about its handling of COVID-19, calling them distorted. A foreign ministry spokesperson in a media address said that since the pandemic began, the Chinese government has put the people and their lives first.
Subscribe to Oneindia channel and never miss an update.